So the goal of this presentation is to answer the questions such as, are celebrities still important for charities? Are charitable foundations working as a team or as competitors? How do you build a strong brand in the charitable sector? How important is the media, the social media in the charitable sector? And what giving means today? And to answer these questions, I will give you the examples from the work of Novak Djokovic Foundation. So, I would like to start by reflecting on the term celebrity. At times I have a problem using it because my understanding of the term goes way back when for the celebrities we had the historical figures and the heroes of modern time. And their importance was not expiring with time. They didn't lose their value, they were not dispatched by us with the rapidity that we can see today. And their actions, beliefs and sacrifices was what made them immortal. And this was much before the advancement of the technology that we can see today. And so because of that, today the fame is not what it used to be. You can become instantly famous overnight almost. And our fascination with that kind of fame is also very short, and we lose interest very fast. So, to make it clear, I'm not talking about those celebrities today. I'm talking about those people whose job is public, who are successful, credible, they have deserved public trust, and have decided to partner with the charities. I will also talk about the needs of the foundations to partner with these kinds of people. UNICEF is the first organization that has used celebrities for advancing their cause. All the celebrities are divided into 3 groups. They have national, regional, global. UNICEF celebrities have a lot of talents and achievements, but what distinguishes them from the other celebrities is that they have already showed their commitment to children before they became the ambassadors of UNICEF. Danny Kaye was the pioneer of celebrity endorsement. In 1954, he was appointed as the first UNICEF Global Ambassador. And if you Google his name today, you will find that role very prominently sticking next to his name, apart from all of these achievements that he made. And this is what his daughter said about him. Though my father achieved legendary success in Hollywood, on Broadway, television, and the concert stage, he often said that working with UNICEF was his most rewarding role. And he's still celebrated today, 30 years after his passing. His work with children has made him immortal. So today, thanks to the digital revolution, we can all become some form of celebrities. Through our blogs, social media, websites, we all have the power of voice. So the question is, do we still need celebrities? The answer is the same that it was 60 years ago. Yes, we need them. They are necessary and important. Celebrities attract attention. They can focus the world's eyes on the problem that is significant and that they passionately speak about and act about it. They can also have the access to people with power to make a change. They can help fundraising by donating their time, memorabilia, by participating in certain humanitarian events and exhibitions. With the power of their voice, people in need can learn where to find help. Here is the example of the power of celebrity. On our first fundraising event in New York in 2012, one of the very influential guests was Anna Wintour. And she's one of the most respected, powerful, and one of the most generous women in the world. But because of her very busy schedule, she very selectively chooses which events she's going to support. So we were very humbled to be on the receiving end of her generosity. And people with such credibility that Anna has also give us credibility. If she finds our work admirable, and if she offers her support, this is also a signal to many other people to follow. And of course, these stories attract media attention, as you can see. We received a lot of support from different outlets, media portals, bloggers, magazines, and newspapers. And let's address the second question. Are charities a team or competitors? Philanthropy is a very, very crowded market. Lots of wonderful charities are doing a fantastic job. And they're investing in a very, very important causes. And lots of these charities do also have their loyal donors and supporters who for generations have been supporting them. For each new charity to find its place in an already crowded market, it requires time. It requires really hard work and necessity of building a strong brand. All charities exist with the same purpose, and that is to eradicate socially important problems. So looking from that perspective, we are all a team. But at the same time, as you can see on this pie, this is only in United States giving. This pie has to be shared between some charities and causes, and there is not enough room for all the causes to fit in the pie. And at the same time, there is no shortage of causes to support, but the resources are very, very limited. So we are in a competition. It is the same like in the business. You see, the product that gets the most attention and the prime space at the shops and the most recognition by the customers will get the bigger portion of the market share. So the foundations need to find a way to stand out. And how do you do that? How do you stand out in the market of so many wonderful foundations doing a fantastic job? Building a strong, trustworthy brand, transparent brand is the key. So, trust, it is so important. It is at the start of every story. And you gain the other people's trust by being transparent and hardworking. But this requires time and patience, and it requires a lot of belief from your side if the funding is not coming. So one way of speeding up the process of gaining trust is to partner with people who already have other people's trust. Influential, credible, and very successful, famous people. So, and trust me, it is very hard to get to them. There is a careful screening process from both sides. And partnering for the sake of partnering without actually engaging is not the right way to gain trust. People can easily see through these partnerships, and they're more harmful than helpful to both sides. Philanthropy is so much more than just lending your name or appearing at the fundraising events. It has to be backed up by action, commitment, and energy. I was very proud of my husband, who in the midst of his very, very demanding career decided to dedicate his time to the charities and to the charitable sector. And sometimes one field visit can give you so much energy and joy because you're watching the children play and they're happy. And at times there is also, when you go to the field visit and you go back and feeling exhausted and heartbroken and empty. And last year, we visited the UNICEF-supported child-friendly space in Belgrade to meet some migrant and refugee children who were passing through our country looking for their way to a new home. And that visit was one of the most heartbreaking and the difficult ones we had. You see, the space they have organized was very basically arranged. There was some food, basic food and water and toys. The older children were sitting at the tables and they were drawing some images while the youngest ones were playing at the floor and they were immersed in the toy world and the safety. And their parents, the mothers mostly, were sitting next to them on the chairs and sleeping, trying to recuperate their energy. And Novak joined them and he started playing with the youngest ones because there was there wasn't a barrier in the language and they could all imitate the sounds of the animals. It was really, really a nice moment. But what happened next was that somebody came in the room and announced that the new bus is coming, and that moment changed everything in the room. The energy completely turned around. Those moms jumped from their feet and they took away those children from their from their joyful play, and of course they took them in this unknown world again. And as a mom myself, I felt so much compassion for those families and for those children. You can imagine how hard it must be to be away from those routines, and from routines of being, you know, in your home, going to bed, eating, playing. And after that, what happened was that for the first time I saw my husband in tears, and he was crying when he was supposed to record the public message for people. And the responsibility that he felt was so big. He felt so much pressure to deliver the message in such a power that a lot of people feel the same emotion that he has felt while playing with those children and being in that room. He had to invite them to be compassionate and to help. And that was not easy. So no matter what the reasons are behind engagement of the celebrity person in the charitable cause, I applaud them. Their value they bring is so important, and it cannot be put a price on. It asks for their sacrifices, but it also gives a lot of love and a satisfaction to them. But all charities need help. They're doing great things. They're correcting, changing, improving, innovating, adding, giving. And they cannot be alone on that journey. They need people to join them to make the lasting change. So it is very important that we all understand how hard their work is. I can quickly walk you through what we do at our foundation for you to get a grasp. You see, Novak and I were born and raised in Serbia. It is a small country, well, not as small as Luxembourg, but small enough. And we were really quite highly impacted by the wars and economical instability and sanctions and bombing. And as a result of that, more than 50% of children do not have access to early childhood education. There are either not enough kindergartens or not enough awareness of the importance of kindergartens. And here you can see that children who receive the early childhood education have much better chances at succeeding in their lives. And those ones who don't have, they're facing far worse long-term outcomes than those with the early childhood programs. They're most likely to drop out of schools and look for some shortcuts on the streets to find their way to earn a living. So that makes our job very important. In order to make a difference, we need to create the sustainable projects that will outlive our funding and continue their growth on their own independently. So we have to partner with the local municipalities and convince them of the importance of investing in their youngest citizens. The result of these partnerships is transformation of the abandoned and unused public objects into classrooms. We also need to re-educate parents. They need to understand how important it is to send their children to the kindergartens. That is not a daycare. Even though they have their grandparents, it is still important for children to be exposed to the quality education at those young times. So they will learn through play. And also, our job does not end there. We also need to train teachers and show them how to take out the best out of those children and to show them the right way. So, again, to pass along this very important message, we need help. And we are lucky to have Novak. He attracts a lot of attention and he has the massive credibility. But other charities are also at the search of a compatible messenger. Some of them do not have access to a high-profile person. And the power of social media here plays a very important role. The smaller foundations can get support of the blogging community, and they can reach millions of people by having somebody write and share the news through their channels. We all know how powerful the digital platforms are and the digital world is when we are passionate about something. And when we unite too. So the power of well-written story is immense. And after all, that is the goal of every foundation. We are all in search of reaching to millions of people. And we use different tools to achieve it, but at the end the goal is always the same. The more, merrier, and more impactful. And here is the example of power of social media together with the power of celebrity. 2 years ago, Serbia was hit by the massive floods. People and animals were drowning and really begging for help for days. Our government was running out of options with their limited resources, and we were hoping that the help will come from the world, but you see, not many media were reporting about it. Our misery was not very interesting to them to report. So we were left alone with no help, and people did not know that they can actually help us. And here again we have the power of celebrity that comes on stage. Novak used his voice to talk about this. While he was at the tournament in Rome, and he was at the press conference after one of his matches, he invited those journalists to talk about floods in Serbia and not about his match or how well he played. And these journalists did that. And what happened was also that Novak won that tournament. He donated all of his prize money earnings to the fund, to the floods fund. The digital world went crazy. It was on fire. We got lots of help and support. And you know, the social networks were used to share the numbers about where to donate, directions of who to call. They were sharing lots of important information. And our foundation has raised $1.4 million for the floods recovery, to recover the schools and kindergartens. And we also had to start refusing some of the donors who were calling us because we didn't have the capacity to use all of their donations. We were directing them to the government and saying, you can also donate there, we are all a team. You know what they said to us? No, we trust Novak. We trust that he will use the money we give in the right way. So I'm coming back again to the word trust. It is so important. And I would also like to remind you that there are so many celebrities around the world who are doing a wonderful job and inspiring so many people to take an action, to change themselves, to give, to do a good deed. There are Angelina Jolie, Lenny Kravitz, Goldie Hawn, Beckhams, Ronaldo, Messi, all of these fantastic people always doing and donating their time and sacrificing one thing for the benefit of social good. And I would like you to leave from this lecture knowing that the good deed is above anything else. It is much easier to give than to take, and we have to be grateful for every opportunity we have to give. And to give you the answer to the last question that I had, what giving means today. Giving doesn't require money. It is always a very common misunderstanding. Giving means writing about important causes at your blogs or websites and sharing important news. It also means finding the ways to help the foundations fund their programs, to find an innovative way to inspire people to donate. It also means clicking that share button at sometimes that we don't use much when foundations are calling for help to raise the awareness about a certain cause. So, in order to be the best givers, I encourage you to be compassionate. Slow down for a moment in this really fast-paced world and pay attention to details, because you might be running by a person who really, really desperately needs your help. And you can give that help only if you pay attention. Sometimes a warm hug, a handshake, a pat on the shoulder. Even your pocket money sometimes can be big as someone has a fortune for somebody. So don't turn off your compassion and have trust that there are good in people and that we can all do amazing things for them. And in order to receive, you first need to give. Everything counts if it comes from the heart with love and respect. Thank you.